Coming of Age is coming up next. I'm your host, Emily Echeverria. First today, we're talking with endocrinologist Dr. Suraj Patel about risk factors and treatment for diabetes. Next up, we're talking about the many stressors facing caregivers and how caregiver support groups can help. Lastly, we'll learn about 90 Works, an organization that is helping to mitigate homelessness through a model that brings people from crisis to self-sufficiency in 90 days. Stay with us. Coming of Age starts right now. As we age, staying active in life and involved in the community can become a challenge. But with Council on Aging of West Florida's wide range of home-based services, you remain healthy, independent, and engaged. From Meals on Wheels and respite care to senior dining sites and the retreat, you'll find the support and connection that you need to age well. Aging looks different for everyone, and we're here to help you meet your needs and thrive while maintaining what makes you, you. We've been in the community since 1972, advocating for elders and supporting those who care for our parents and grandparents. Now, join us as we discuss the age-related issues that matter to you. There are over 37 million people that have diabetes in the United States, which is roughly 11% of the population. Of these 37 million, 28 million have been diagnosed, but almost 9 million are undiagnosed. Additionally, 96 million people, or 38% of the U.S. population, have prediabetes. Here today to talk to us more about the causes, symptoms, and treatment of diabetes is Dr. Suraj Patel, endocrinologist at the Baptist Medical Group Endocrinology Office. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you for having me, Emily.
So what is diabetes, and why is it so prevalent?
Yeah, so diabetes mellitus really refers to a group of diseases that really disrupt the way your body uses sugar, which is glucose. So our human body needs sugar to work normally. And what happens is sugar gets into the cells with the help of a hormone called insulin. Insulin is made by the pancreas, which is an organ in the belly. And if there's not enough insulin, or if your body stops responding to insulin, then sugar builds up in the blood. So that is actually what happens to people with diabetes. Now, in terms of prevalence itself, diabetes, as you know, has been increasing worldwide. There are a lot of various factors that has led to the increase. One of the most common ones is obesity, which is a result of a lack of physical activity. Patients can sometimes use, increased carbonated drinks. People who consume high foods that are high sugar foods, which are processed, as well as packed ready-to-eat foods, or people who are consuming fried foods. That has really contributed to an unhealthy eating pattern, and that is what leads to obesity itself. Another one of the common causes, Emily, is an aging population. With the advances in healthcare that we've had so far, people have had an increased lifespan, and as a result, diabetes has become more prevalent. And then finally, it's just an increased awareness. So a lot of people are aware of the diagnosis of diabetes, and that's kind of letting them get tested more frequently, and that's what results in an earlier diagnosis, so to speak.
I've heard type 1 and type 2 diabetes. What is the difference?
So type 1 is often, but not always, diagnosed earlier in life. In type 1 diabetes, the cells in the pancreas that make insulin are essentially destroyed. So that means that these patients, which is about 1 in 10 diabetes patients out there, they have to have a delivery system, such as an injection or a pump, that delivers insulin continuously throughout the day. Type 2, on the other hand, it is more common. It affects about 9 in 10 diabetic patients, and it's usually diagnosed in the setting of being overweight or being obese. Now, in this form of disease, the pancreas continues to produce insulin, but the cells become resistant to its effects. So this leads to kind of a decreased capacity to utilize glucose, and that's what leads to a buildup of glucose or sugar in your blood.
What is the cause of diabetes?
Now, the exact cause of most types of diabetes is actually unknown. In all cases, we know that sugar builds up in the bloodstream, and that is because the pancreas doesn't produce enough insulin. Now, both type 1 and type 2 diabetes can be caused by a combination of genetic or environmental factors, but it's unclear what those factors may be.
How do you know if you have diabetes? What type of testing is available?
So to find out if you have diabetes, your doctor or your nurse can do a blood test. There are two tests that can be used for this. Both involve measuring the amount of sugar in your blood, and that is called your blood sugar or your blood glucose. One of the tests that we use to measure your blood sugar at the time the blood sample is done, this test is actually done in the morning. So you can't eat or drink anything except water for the last 8 hours or so before the test. And then the other test that we use is pretty much your average blood sugar for the last 3 months or so. So this blood test is called the hemoglobin A1C, or just the A1C. And this can be checked at any time of the day, even if you have just recently eaten.
What can a person do to lower their risk of diabetes? Is it possible to reverse diabetes?
So type 1 diabetes cannot be prevented, unfortunately, but the healthy lifestyle choices that help treat prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, and even gestational diabetes can also help prevent them. So things like eating healthy foods. So you want to choose foods that are lower in fat, calories, and higher in fiber. We want to be focusing on fruits, vegetables, and whole grains. You want to be eating a variety of these foods to help you from keeping bored. Of course, the need to get out and do more physical activity is extremely important. You know, the American Diabetes Association, they recommend at least getting around 30 minutes of moderate aerobic activity. And then finally, it just kind of boils down to losing the excessive weight that we have. If you're overweight, losing even 7% of your body weight can actually lower the risk of diabetes. And at the end of the day, if lifestyle factors are not optimal, then drugs are going to be an option. We have oral diabetes drugs such as metformin, which can lower the risk of type 2 diabetes. And if you also have prediabetes, having your blood sugar to be checked at least once a year will make sure that you don't develop overt diabetes itself. In terms of reversal of diabetes, Emily, unfortunately, there isn't a cure yet for diabetes, but losing weight, eating healthy foods, taking your medications, as I just mentioned, being active, these all can really help.
If someone would like to make an appointment with you, do they need a referral?
We definitely encourage a referral, but the patients can contact their primary care providers who can send over a referral, and we definitely are accepting new patients at this time.
Next up, we're talking with Sharon Oakes about caregiver support groups. Stay tuned.
If you're looking for a fun and exciting environment for your loved one, then L&L Executive Adult Daycare is a perfect fit. We offer social gatherings, physical activities, games, outings, and daily luncheons from Karen's Catering. We take a holistic approach to social stimulation and aim to enrich the lives of our guests. Let us help restore your loved one's mind, body, and soul. We'd love to speak to you. L&L Executive Adult Daycare. Big business love with small town feel.
The Reesburg Institute, Pensacola's ear, nose, throat, and voice center. We welcome you to visit us at our convenient Davis Highway location in Pensacola. At the Reesburg Institute, we offer the most advanced treatment available in a calm, stress-free environment. Since 2014, we've performed over 1,000 cases in office of balloon sinus surgery, as well as septoplasty and nasal procedures using oral sedation. The in-office procedures result in a faster healing time. Visit us and feel the difference. The Beacon at Gulf Breeze offers the finest senior living community in the area. We are here for your loved ones who need assisted living and advanced memory care services. Seniors will feel right at home with studio, one-bedroom apartments, a large dining area, a beautiful landscape courtyard, and even a salon. With professional staff and one-on-one care, your loved ones are our top priority. Welcome to the Beacon at Gulf Breeze. Welcome home.
Becoming a caregiver to a loved one in any capacity can present many challenges, both in the day-to-day tasks of the role and the emotional toll it can take. Council on Aging of West Florida offers several caregiver support groups, but there are many more other groups that provide resources for caregivers in our area. Sharon Oakes was a social worker by profession for many years, And now she's using what she's learned in her career to provide support and space for caregivers in our community. And she's here to tell us more about what is offered in these settings. Thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely.
So first, tell me a bit about how you got involved in caregiver support and what led you to becoming a facilitator of several caregiver support groups.
Well, I started working when I thought I was going to retire, but I started working for hospice in 2011. And one of the areas that was needed was a facilitator for one of their support groups. And so I volunteered, and I created, there were only 2 people that were attending at the time. We built it up to about 16, and I just loved it. And from that group, I realized that there was really a need, not just in Escambia County, but Santa Rosa County, well, all the counties, but those were the 2 that I needed to start trying to find and initiate other groups, and I did.
And so how many groups do you facilitate right now?
6.
Okay.
With 1 pending, if I can find the time. So.
Can you give me a brief overview of the groups you're currently facilitating and how they're structured? Are there specific caregiver topics, or are they all just kind of general? Tell us about that.
No, each group has its own flavor, for lack of a better word. Some of the groups, and they're not just mine, one of the groups is definitely educational, the one at Bayview Senior Center, and that one always has a speaker, and they focus on learning something that's regarding dementia. Then some of the groups, it's what I call dump and vent. A lot of them don't want speakers. They want a format where they can come and share and cry, be angry, complain with no judgment. And some of them are a combination. Some of them are exclusive. We were talking about Azalea Trace earlier. Azalea Trace is just for members at Azalea Trace, but they have 500 people that live out there. And we found that that particular group, it has to be someone who lives at Azalea Trace, but at the same time, they have a huge need out there. And so we had so many in our support group, I had to split them up. So now I have 2 at Azalea Trace. And I let the group dictate what we're going to do. If they want a speaker, if I've heard about something new, a new neurologist, or some new form of clinical trial, or a topic that might be relevant in terms of helping them to be better caregivers, then I bring that to the table. But a lot of the groups, what I'm trying to do is to give them permission to be and have any feelings that they want, and not worry about the big G word, which is guilt. Each of them has to understand that it's okay to be angry and mad, that that's a normal feeling, that this isn't what they had hoped. They thought they would travel. They thought they'd spend their golden years doing other things. Some people are young and have dementia, early onset of dementia. It's rare, but it does happen. Traumatic brain injury, which from a motorcycle accident, you could be 35 years old and have that kind of trauma to your brain. So it's just all over the place, but anybody is welcome. Sometimes some people come to the group, not often, but some, they have a loved one that's got some odd diagnosis, but they're welcome. They just feel at home. Each person has their own group that appeals to them, so it may be, particularly doing so many, I will encourage them to go to other groups if I feel that's really a better fit for them.
So why do you think that caregivers often kind of struggle to reach out for help with the challenges or the stress of caregiving?
We're private. We don't want to admit, we're Americans, we could do anything. We don't want to admit that we can't handle it. Women are more guilty of this than men, but men also don't reach out either. So I found that it's kind of a gender thing, although more and more men are coming to my groups. I'm so pleased with that. Yeah. But I think they're just embarrassed. It's like having alcoholism. You don't want the world to know. Well, it's not a death sentence to have dementia, and trying to teach them that you can still have some quality relationship with that person that you love that's got the diagnosis is what I'm trying to do.
So what advice do you have for anyone who is maybe in the beginning of a caregiving journey or experience?
Learn everything you possibly can. When I started the groups in 2011, I knew nothing, and the groups taught me a lot. And so there are lots of presentations free that don't cost anything. I always give people a lot of information, layman type information. I get information from the National Institute of Health that is really, really good on giving them to the end of the dementia journey. And it's very, very helpful. But learn as much as you can. Don't be afraid to go and learn about it. But the other thing is, make sure you take care of yourself. What happens is people are so busy caring for the one they love that they forget about themselves and they die first. And then who's going to care for that person that they left behind? So.
Yeah. And what do you hope that the people that attend get out of their time with these groups?
A sense of hope, a sense that, yes, it's not the way I wanted it, but they feel supported. One of the neatest feelings is to walk into, to start my group, and then all of a sudden the members take over and they are helping each other. And it's awesome to watch that. They don't need me, really. I have empowered them to be able to be resources for each other. Then I know I'm doing a good job if that is the case. But giving them that hope that tomorrow will be better, that yes, it's a lousy day today, but there are options, giving them permission to look for to get caregivers in their home, because a lot of people don't want to ask for that help, but you need it. You have to have it. If you're going to be okay for your loved one, you've got to have outside care.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will have the information on the screen for how to reach out to you if you would like to take part in these groups. But thank you so much for sharing this with us today.
Absolutely.
Next up, we're talking about an organization focused on meeting the needs of in-crisis and vulnerable populations throughout Northwest Florida. Stay with us.
Over 2 decades ago, TLC Caregivers partnered with the Council on Aging of West Florida to assist seniors with non-medical help to stay independent in their own homes. Our commitment to providing these services started in 1989 and has grown to aid people from birth through geriatrics, from a short visit of 2 hours to 24 hours a day. We're a proud sponsor of the Council on Aging of West Florida. We're TLC Caregivers.
When cancer tries to take you away from the things that matter most, Baptist Cancer Institute offers caring physicians and the most innovative treatment options. With convenient locations and a wide array of support programs and services, we're here to help you during the most difficult of times. As a member of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, we're bringing even more innovative cancer care to our community right here at home. When you need cancer care, we'll be there.
They call me Prince like I'm royalty or something. But the places I've lived ain't no palaces. So I don't need grilled salmon or a new scratching post. Just give me a cardboard box and a can of tuna and we're good. You can even change my name. I'm cool being the kitty formerly known as Prince.
The organization 90 Works was originally founded in 1983 as a not-for-profit corporation providing services and education for abused and neglected children and their families in the 4-county area. In 2014, the organization rebranded as 90 Works to focus on their 90-day self-sufficiency model, with the welfare of children and families still at the core of its mission. We have President of Operations, Rocky Harrison, here to tell us more about this unique model and how this organization helps build sustainable success for vulnerable communities. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So first off, tell me about the mission of 90 Works and what you do in the community.
Yeah, so our mission at 90 Works is to overcome and prevent homelessness, poverty, and family violence by becoming self-sufficient. So in the community, what we do is we work with people that are at risk for homelessness or currently experiencing homelessness, and we assist them through case management and our self-sufficiency model to get them back to stay stable and thriving.
Mm-hmm. And tell me more about the different aspects of the self-sufficiency model.
Yeah, so in our model, we believe that all of the basic needs that have to be met before anyone can be self-sufficient. So those basic needs are housing. You can't get a job if you don't have housing. You can't maintain a job. So after housing, we believe that you've got to have income, some type of income, whether that be benefits, earned income, transportation. Everyone needs adequate transportation, health care, safety, all of the safety planning. And if you're living in a war zone, you're not going to likely be able to maintain any type of livelihood and support. Everyone needs some type of support to be able to maintain their housing and a job and safety. So we believe all of those, with transportation included, that you need all 6 of those basic needs met before you're able to really achieve self-sufficiency and maintain it.
Mm-hmm. And so what is the biggest challenge you find in that process?
The biggest challenge that I would say that we come across in that process would be to really increase maybe an older population, be able to increase their income where they're really able to live and be thriving, because a lot of these older populations, if we're talking about the very minimum of Social Security and that's all that they get, we have to find some additional resources and subsidies or different kind of community grants, some type of long-term support to be able to help them maintain that housing and self-sufficient lifestyle after 90 Works case management has concluded.
Sure. What are some of the challenges facing the communities you serve?
The challenges in our communities that we serve is that there's not always as much communication between providers as there should be, and really more so now we see that because of COVID-19 and the effects that had. A lot of community providers have, in one aspect it's good because you've got these platforms, Teams community meetings and virtual community meetings, more, people are going that way, but really to get out what kind of barriers are in the community, in each specific community, as we serve, just for Florida alone, 10 different counties. Each of those counties' needs are different, so we have to tailor what really strengths we have in each of those communities and what we can really focus on per community. So really it's making sure that we identify what the need is there, and then just being open with our community partners, giving them the information they need, and if they've identified someone that has the need, that we can step in and assist with whatever it is that they need specifically for their clientele.
Mm-hmm. So getting all the kind of connectivity, all the pieces together to working. Tell me about the Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, because I saw that was a part of the 90 Works program model.
Yeah, so Supportive Services for Veterans and Families, that is a grant that is passed through the United States Department of Veterans Affairs. That specific grant is able to serve any veteran that is below the 50% area median income for that specific area. So the area median income is a income that HUD sets, and that says for whichever county that someone below this amount of money is eligible and they fall below that poverty level. So the veteran has to be a veteran who is identified as such through the Department of Veterans Affairs. They have to fall within that 50% area median income and either be pending or experiencing homelessness. So if those 3 eligibility criteria are met, then we're able to enroll that veteran family into the program. we're able to start with a 90-day self-sufficiency case management model, intensive case management, where we, if the veteran family is literally homeless, the first thing that we do, our goal is within 10 days to have that family stably housed in permanent housing, because we don't believe that a emergency shelter is a long-term fix, because you don't want that family to go back into homelessness after that. So we try to identify housing within 10 days, and then we're able to assist with deposits, first month's rent, utility deposits. We're able to assist with transportation, so vehicle repairs up to $1,200, and then some basic needs to be met. The veteran family is eligible for up to $18,000 in just general housing stability. So we work with those families to cover all those domains and get that family self-sufficient within those 90 days. And if we cannot do that within 90 days, then we case conference with our other SSVF group, and then we enroll those families into shallow subsidy, which is an extension of SSVF, and they allow for us to pay up to 24 months of that veteran's rent, so half of their rent for up to 24 months.
Okay. Wow. And really quick, how can people get involved with 90 Works?
Yeah, so anyone can get involved. We are always trying to give back to the community. We want to be a strong community partner. We want to align ourselves with other strong community partners. Volunteering, really being a veteran advocate. Anyone, they can reach out to us and they can call us in the Panhandle. If it is a veteran that's needing assistance, they can call 850-619-5899. We can be reached at 1-855-90-WORKS, or we can be reached out, or anyone can get a hold of us by email, and that's our website is www.90works.org, or they can email us at 90works.90works.org.
Gotcha. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for watching. Until next time, enjoy life. You've earned it.